Have you ever wondered how people kept time? I mean, really kept time, long before we had clocks and calendars on our phones? What if I told you there was a way to track the seasons, not by looking up at the stars, but by literally listening to the ground beneath your feet? Today, we're going to dive into one of the most incredible and ingenious methods for tracking time you've probably never heard of.
So our whole story kicks off with this mystery from ancient Chinese texts. They talk about something called earth qi. Now, they described it as this kind of energy that flowed from the earth, changing with the seasons. But, what was it, really? How in the world could you measure something you can't even see?
All right, let's get into the experiment itself, because the solution they came up with it's absolutely brilliant. To try and capture this Earth's chi, they created this incredible experiment that was part physics, part philosophy, and believe it or not, part music.
And what's so cool about this is that, most ancient cultures were looking up, mapping stars and constellations to build their calendars. But this was all about the Earth. It was focused entirely on this invisible energy they believed was rising right out of the ground.
The setup itself was actually pretty simple, but super precise. First, they took 12 hollow pipes, probably bamboo, and buried them in a very specific arrangement. The key thing here is that each of the 12 pipes was cut to a slightly different length. Then they filled each one with this really fine, super lightweight ash from burnt reeds. And after all that, they just had to wait.
And that precision I mentioned, it was absolutely crucial. The pipes had this specific range of lengths. The longest one was 9 kun. That's an old unit of measurement, about the width of your thumb. And the shortest one was just under 5. This difference in length wasn't random at all. It was the entire secret to making this thing work.
So, you're probably wondering, how did this whole setup actually tell them anything? Well, everything, the whole system, depended on one single critical moment in the year. The entire experiment was built to capture the exact instant the seasons made their turn.
And that moment, it was the winter solstice, the shortest, darkest day of the year. Now, in their way of thinking, this wasn't an ending, it was the ultimate beginning. It was the point where darkness was at its peak and the sun's energy, what they called the yang qi, started its long, slow journey back to the world.
So just try to picture it. You've got these ancient observers all gathered in the cold and the quiet around these pipes buried in the ground. They're just watching, waiting for any sign that the fundamental energy of the earth is finally shifting.
And then it happens. Not a big bang, not a loud noise, but a single tiny puff of ash gently pushes out of just one of the 12 pipes. And it's always the longest one. And there it is. That's what they were looking for. Earth Chi wasn't some spooky, mystical fog. It was this, a real physical force. It was the rising energy of the returning sun, just strong enough to push a tiny bit of ash out of a tube, proving the new solar cycle had begun.
That one little puff of ash was the anchor for their entire calendar. It was real, physical proof that their theories were right. But, the visual sign, that was only half the story.
And this is where things get really, really wild. The question wasn't just that the ash moved. The truly critical question was, what sound did the pipe make when that little bit of earth energy rushed through it? Because, get this whole experiment wasn't just some visual calendar. It was a musical one. The earth wasn't just breathing, it was literally singing to them.
So, here's the genius of it. Because each of those 12 pipes had a different length, each one resonated at a totally different frequency. As the earth chi pushed the ash out, each pipe would hum with a distinct musical note. They had created a 12-note scale that perfectly mapped the 12 months of the year.
And they didn't just stop there, of course. They built a whole philosophical system around it. The notes that came from the odd-numbered pipes were called lu. These represented the active, bright yang energy. And the notes from the even-numbered pipes, those were lu, representing the passive, dark yin energy.
It all comes together in this ancient phrase, Liu, Lu, Tiao, Yang, which basically translates to the pitches that regulate the yang energy. It just shows you how deeply connected music, philosophy, and timekeeping were for them. You didn't just observe the calendar, you were in harmony with it. And that first note, That sound from the longest pipe on the winter solstice, it was so important it got its own special name, huangzheng, which means yellow bell. This was the foundational pitch, the absolute ground zero for their entire system of music and their calendar.
And here's the really cool part. Music experts have figured out that huangzheng corresponds pretty closely to our modern musical note C. They described it as having this deep, steady, foundational quality, which makes perfect sense, right? It's the note that kicks off the entire year. Okay, so let's put all the pieces together. How does a puff of ash and a musical note turn into a super sophisticated and reliable calendar?
Well, it's actually a beautifully logical system. That first note, huangzhong, marked the first month. Then, as the year went on, the theory was that the Earth's energy would change and strengthen, and it would resonate with the next shortest pipe, and then the next. Each month had its own unique pitch, marking the steady progression of the seasons. 12 notes, 12 months. Simple as that.
So, those 12 sounds gave them their 12 main solar terms, or Jeki. And once they had those 12 fixed, audible points in the year, they could accurately calculate all the other points in between, creating the full 24-term solar calendar that's amazingly still used in parts of Asia today. And this was so much more than just a cool science experiment. This calendar was the absolute bedrock of their society. It told farmers exactly when to plant their crops and when to harvest. It guided religious ceremonies and organized pretty much all of daily life. And it was all based on this incredibly intimate musical connection to the planet's rhythm. It's just an unbelievable story of creativity and careful observation. And it kind of leaves you with a big question, doesn't it? If an entire society could build its concept of time around listening so closely to the ground, what other subtle natural rhythms have we, in our noisy modern world, completely forgotten how to hear?